You know, the state of Israel guarantees religious freedom. So why is this ultra-Orthodox sect persecuting fellow Israelis?
That persecution is allowed to continue.
You know, the state of Israel promises religious freedom to all faiths.
However, in some Israeli towns, Jews who believe that Jesus is the Jewish Messiah face persecution. One of those places is in a town called Arad. Here's CBN News Middle East correspondent Chris Mitchell.
Arad sits in the middle of the Negev Desert, about a 2-hour drive south of Jerusalem. For most of the nearly 25,000 residents, it's a quiet city, but for others, it's been the scene of noisy protests and almost daily harassment. An ultra-Orthodox sect called the Gur harass many of the Messianic Jews in the town. Yakim Figaras is a Messianic pastor in Arad.
We meet at the congregation building. There's a narrow way to go in, the gate. So they have 2 of their people standing on each side and reading curses against everyone that walks in. May his children be orphans, may their wives be widows, and so on. And it's not nice for the simple people to come in and to go through this.
Another place where harassment takes place is in the center of town, where many retired Jewish immigrants gather. Most of the men here are retired senior citizens from the former Soviet Union. Some are Holocaust survivors. They come here to play their favorite game at this chess club called the King's Men. Eddie and Laura Beckford established the chess club as a way to serve these men.
Well, we have books and Bibles in all the languages, and we definitely have, we always keep a stock of Russian Bibles, Old Testament, New Testament. They have a hunger for knowledge, reading and stuff, because I guess books and things were banned behind the Iron Curtain.
And we try to meet their physical needs, too. We find, like there's one man here who needs a hearing aid, so we're working on that.
They provide a place to play chess and dominoes, games these men love. They set up chess tournaments and also provide used clothing for Bedouins and anyone in the community. But the chess club has been vandalized and firebombed, which many suspect is the work of this ultra-Orthodox sect. Many of the Messianic Jews have also had their names and faces placed on flyers distributed throughout Arad. Rebecca Fry is one of those on the flyers. Ironically, she grew up in an ultra-Orthodox Gur home. Now she believes in Jesus.
I know exactly where they're coming from, because I was taught when I was a child, I was taught the same thing about the Christians. The Christians are crazy people, bad people who kidnap children and baptize them and take them to monasteries or convents and lock them up there. So I know exactly where they're coming from. That you grow up with they actually teach you that all the time when you're growing up, to hate Christians.
Arad's mayor hopes these 2 groups will find a way to live together.
I tried to make both communities try to figure out how to live together, because this is how I believe. I came to the desert for peace, not for fight. And my feeling is that at the end of the day, they will find ways to live. In the meantime, the situation is not so good.
In the meantime, the Messianic Jews of Arad are relying on and asking for prayer.
It helps me to pray for them. I feel sorry for them, so it helps me to know where to pray for them, where they're coming from. But it's hard when you stand there in front of someone who's yelling and cursing and shouting. It's hard to see any perspective. So pray for a revival, pray for his kingdom, for his name to be glorified here in Arad, and not for the persecution to stop. And for people to have the courage and the strength to stand firmly in faith.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Arad, Israel.
The Bible verse says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Yes.
Talk about a piece of real estate that is hotly contested in the world.
Yeah, and that's so unusual to see that. You usually see the persecution between the Jews and the Palestinians, but not Jews against the Christians in Israel.
Wow. So, it's hard to see.
Okay.